Hi there, my name is Kay Moon, and I am a twin flame channel and Western astrologer. And this is a video about the Sagittarius New Moon happening on November 26th, 2019, 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time. If you are in another time zone, you'll need to convert from your time zone or to your time zone to know when this will be an active energy for you. So, there are a couple of signatures about this new moon that really stand out, and one of them is the amount of passion and new beginning energy that this new moon is bringing to the table. What I love about this new moon is, as you can see, if you take a look over to the left of your screen, there's a lot of fire, a lot of earth, and a lot of water energy. And there's a nice blend of cardinal, fixed, and mutable energy. So, for those of you unfamiliar with these energies, I'll say real briefly fire corresponds to the realm of the spirit, earth corresponds to the realm of the body and the physical world, air corresponds to the realm of the mind, and water to the realm of emotion. Cardinal is all about beginnings and initiative taking energy, the capacity to start something. Fixed is the energy to maintain and sustain a thing, where mutable energy is about the capacity to transform and shape shift a thing into its next iteration. With so much balance between cardinal, fixed, and mutable, and a lot of fire, earth, and water energy, this particular new moon is carrying with it an energy of new beginnings made manifest into the physical world based on information that we've cultivated in our spiritual and physical journey prior to this moment. Note that this new moon comes with very little air sign energy of the significant planets and placements. If you're an astrologer, you'll see over here in the chart that we've got a few asteroids hanging out in the air sign of Libra. But we've got nothing going on in Aquarius, and only the Earth's placement in the air sign of Gemini at this moment. With that energy of new beginnings, this energy is coming with a lot of momentum. And so it's fast moving. It is very exciting energy. It is also surprising energy. We'll talk about some of the surprise signatures that are here in the chart. But this energy really brings with it, this new moon brings with it an energy of momentum that has been built prior to now that can be carried into a new beginning going forward. And it is the only Sagittarius new moon before we begin the Sagittarius Gemini eclipse cycle in 2021 in July. I think it's July, June, when that 1.5 to 2-year eclipse cycle begins. So Sagittarius really represents our highest ideals. It represents the freedom to follow the truth as we understand it. A lot of classic astrology will talk about Sagittarius representing, dogma and religion, higher education as well on a mundane level. On a spiritual level, Sagittarius also represents ideals and truth and freedom. And it's not just freedom for freedom's sake, it's the freedom to follow the truth and to really define the truth after we have explored it all in the opposing sign of Gemini. We bring it together for unity consciousness in the sign of Sagittarius. This beautiful new moon energy allows all of us to set an intention and to do a little bit of course correction if we feel for any reason that the direction we've been moving is out of alignment. This new moon comes with a capacity as well for healing and for bringing a healing into the realm of our identity, our direction, our goals, our ambition, as this particular new moon is also speaking in harmony with Chiron here in Aries, which is the sign of the self. By bringing that healing to ourselves via this new moon's energy and the sign of our truths and our ideals, we have a momentum here that is allowing us to move along the direction of our own truth without any further ado. It's a momentum here to stand up for what we believe is right. And you can see that as we've been building to this new moon on the world stage, we are seeing a record number of global protests as people take to the streets in their respective countries to stand up for what they personally believe is the right thing for their country, for their people, for their neighborhood, and so forth. One of the other interesting signatures that are lending to that kind of global and mass movement of standing up for what we believe is truth and what we believe is right during this new moon energy has to do with this. Which one was it? There's a little bit, hang on, I have some notes, people. I swear I don't just wing this all the time. Sometimes I do. Yes, here it is. It is this energy here at the bottom of your screen. You'll see Eris getting and Uranus in a widening conjunction. Thank goodness it's widening. But in opposition, you've also got Mars hanging out here. And then you've got a square from Pholus. And the combination of these three, Eris, which is all about discord and strife and disharmony. And Eris's energy really only comes forward when we've had the experience of being disenfranchised, dismembered, disembodied, excluded. It's not strife for strife's sake or disharmony for disharmony's sake. It's the energy of feeling like the underdog who never got a fair shake, pushing back against systems that have unfairly left us out or not set a seat at the table for us. Eris talking to Uranus on a mundane level, shock and surprise. On a spiritual level, our divinity. Opposite Mars, Eris bringing Mars into Mars's more aggressive energy in Scorpio, and a lot of motivation to seek the truth, to dig deep into the roots and to uncover the places where the truth has been hidden from us and to bring that to the surface. Squaring Pholus here and Pholus and Ceres sitting together, bringing this I'm not going to be walked all over anymore energy. I'm not willing to sit idly by while freedoms, Sagittarius New Moon, freedoms that I believe are necessary are taken from me. I am no longer going to stand back and say nothing or do nothing, because remember, there's no air in this, not a lot of air in this chart, so it's not really about saying nothing. It's really about I'm not going to do nothing any longer. I am going to take action at this time to course correct my world in a direction that feels really right and true for me and right and true for the kind of world I want to live into. So this energy, as I said, it's the very beginning. It's the seed planting that is corresponding to the Sag-Gemini eclipse cycle that begins middle of 2020. And it's this seed planting energy that we're seeing now that once we move into that eclipse cycle is going to begin the process of really exploding, unfolding, bearing its fruit. What we see happening now with this new moon is going to come back round again for greater exploration once we get out into the middle of 2020 and towards the end of 2020 and into 2021. So it's a bit of a long-term view here. But coming back to our personal lives, this Sagittarius new moon is really about taking that action to align our lives with the truth that we know we want to live into, to take that action to be the truth, to live the truth, and to stand for the truth in the relationships that matter most to us. So set your intentions. This is a great time for intention setting. But what's interesting about this new moon, especially given, the high fire, high earth energies of this new moon, is that this new moon really talks about setting intentions with the body, putting our money where our mouth is, not just having faith, but also taking action. There is that saying, faith without works is actually dead. This is the energy of saying, it is now or never. I will take, my prayer is in my hands. I am taking the steps to live this truth. More so than saying anything about this truth. So just know that some of the stuff you are seeing from people, because there is some tension here. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. There's a lot of tension in this chart with that T-square that I just laid out. Many astrologers may not speak about it. I use a lot of the asteroids and trans-Neptunian objects in the way that I read astrology. I believe that they play just as vital a role, or an informative role in the chart. So many astrologers won't speak about it, but I believe that the tension that we're seeing on the world stage is in part brought to bear as a result of some of these asteroids and trans-Neptunian objects hanging out in this T-square in this chart, playing with some of these more personal planetary energies, like Mars and the outer planetary energy of Uranus. So, some of the other signatures going on here as we walk into this new moon and experience its energies is that Pluto and Chariklo as well are conjunct, and they've been conjunct and dancing all year at 21 degrees Capricorn at this point. I've talked about this energy in other new moon videos, a little less so in full moon, but this is the energy with Pluto hanging out in Capricorn. Pluto has been doing a work in revolutionizing the institutions and systems and governments that we're all living within and have co-created together on Earth. Pluto representing life, death, and rebirth cycles. Pluto being alchemy, change, transformation, specifically that in-between point, that death point where you are not on earth and you are not in the afterlife, that chrysalis point where you are neither a caterpillar nor are you a butterfly yet. Pluto really representing that alchemy point, and Chariklo here being all about divine intercession on our behalf, or intercession on our behalf among the gods. So many faith traditions have a teacher or prophet or someone in the tradition that they can look back to in history or in their written words that speak to a person who interceded on their behalf with the gods, and turning the gods' ears to our plight. With Chariklo sitting here, and this is Chariklo's role in the Roman mythology and the Greek mythology. This was kind of her role, was one of the interceders, or intercessors, I should say. With Chariklo sitting with Pluto, there is an energy of, listen, we hang in the balance. And there's this way in which at this moment, the gods are listening. Whomever you pray to is waiting for your request, so that whomever that intercessor is in your faith background can take that prayer to the gods and turn around that miracle for you that is meant to change your life and bring you to the next highest place of your incarnation. That Cheroklo-Pluto combination is in the process of perfecting a square here to Eris, and this T-square that we've got going on, not quite, but mostly Eris. And with Eris, that strife and discord, and this square here from Capricorn with Pluto, there is a bit of an energy of, and I speak about this because 2019 has been this kind of year, an energy of choice. Are we taking the high road, or are we going to, take the low road and lash out? Are we going to, break everything, throw the baby out with the bathwater, or are we going to see if we can get to the table and get all of our voices heard and negotiate until we get to a place where collaboration prevails and none of us are compromised anymore? There's a choice point here in this square that is saying, who are you in the moment of feeling like your back is against the wall? What truth do you stand for when you feel disenfranchised, when you feel like life has forgotten your name? So choices, it's all about choices, and there's a momentum that's already been in place. What's nice about this new moon is that this new moon gives us all the opportunity to step off of a track that may not be working for us. It gives us the chance to say, you know what, I do want to be the bigger person. I actually do believe that there is a way for me to win and for you to win and for all of us to win. This new moon gives us the opportunity to take that stand and to step onto that higher road. There's also an energy here that is really lovely supporting that, with just Jupiter conjunct Venus here as we experience the energy of this new moon. They'll have gotten into precise conjunction a few days in advance of this new moon. Jupiter will have also spoken with what's known as the galactic center point, Venus as well, being the place, in our, I think it's our galaxy that we all kind of rotate around. What's interesting about Jupiter and Venus together and that galactic center point, for those of you who are starseeds, I'm going to touch on this in a moment. In its rawest form, when you strip Jupiter's connotations away, Jupiter just stands for opportunity. It is unrelenting opportunity for expansion and growth. It's just opportunity, opportunity after opportunity. Venus, once you strip all of her connotations down, and in mundane astrology, Venus can really be money, love. Venus can also represent our values. Jupiter can represent not just expansion and growth, but benevolence and luck. Venus can too. The two of them come together. A lot of people think romance. They think lucky. They think, winning the lottery. But when I see these two come together in their purest form, Venus being glue and attraction, Jupiter being opportunity, what I'm seeing is whatever we put in, whatever seeds we're planting right now are the seeds that are going to magnify and expand. So again, you could get sucked into some very challenging, retaliatory energy here given this chart. You can also allow yourself to change tracks and get into an energy of, I'm going to plant seeds of love. I'm going to plant seeds of life and seeds of abundance and growth and fertility. What you focus on with your action with this new moon is going to expand 10x. It is that special of a new moon. So keep that in mind with your behavioral choices, with your calendar, with your schedule, with the people that you're choosing to surround yourself with, the conversations you're choosing to have. this new moon is a magnifier and an amplifier, because the other thing that's happening, as I said, at that galactic center point, we are actually channeling in support from the other side, from all the benevolence who watch what's happening on Earth and trying to vote for or vie for what it is they want to see expand on planet Earth, what agenda they have. You can tune in to supports on the other side, and in the galactic, interstellar realms, and channel in extra support for what it is that you stand for, what it is that you would like to see expanding on Earth. Now, I personally am a stand for unconditional love, for love that, expands and knows, goes beyond the conditions of the moment or the circumstances of the moment, and for truth. So, I've set my life up to have some actions go down that really support that going forward, and so that energy can 10x in my own life. So take some time to think about your values and what it is you want to see expand, especially in 2020, 21, and 22, because this is the new moon where all of that's going to start to come into play. We've also got a couple of other interesting signatures going on with Uranus. I talked about that Mars-Uranus opposition while talking to Eris, which creates that tension and that T-square that, is all about when our back's against the wall. Do we lash out? Is that who we are? But Venus is also trining Uranus. And with a Venus trine to Uranus in fire signs, in mundane astrology, in an earth sign, in mundane astrology, what we're looking at here with Venus talking to Uranus is this. It's a lot of capacity to suddenly have things go really well in a beautiful way for us over the next 2 to 3 weeks, because this energy is going to be in place for a little bit of time as Venus progresses into Capricorn and Jupiter joins her. This is just, it's lucky breaks in the physical world, a lot of opportunities. So for those of you who own businesses, who are looking at starting a business, assuming that this energy aligns for you in your chart, this is a time where your business could really pick up, could truly have you take off with this holiday season and stretch into the new year, where you could find, the right customers, you could find, create maybe a particular sale or marketing strategy that can just really catapult you as you move into 2020. There's definitely some challenging energies at the start of 2020 that you want to stay aware of. I'll be talking about those as we move forward in time. But this particular holiday season could really go well in the realm of business. Also really well, depending upon what's going on in your chart, in the realm of love as well. So if you want to have a look at your chart to see how this is playing out, just shoot me an email at chrysalismoon@gmail.com, KRYSALISMOON@gmail.com. We can take a look at where this expansive luck, attraction, surprise energy is playing out for you, so that you can meet the universe halfway with the opportunity that it's trying to bring into your life. Like I said, for some of you, this could be love. For others, this could be money or business. And still for some people, this could be health or the expansion of a deepened spiritual awareness, just depending upon where these things play out in your individual chart. You'll get an autoresponder first that'll tell you how to book. December sessions are now open, and the calendar opens up on Monday to those who have prepaid first. I would be honored to read for you. We also have in this chart some interesting energies going on with Mercury. So here's Mercury up here in Scorpio, midway through the sign. It's more of a stabilized mercurial conversation with Scorpio. Mercury's done being retrograde. So the message of the Mercury retrograde for you should be you should know what it is by this point. Whatever it is you were meant to learn, or meant to move through, that would have surfaced already at this point. But Mercury's having some interesting conversations. It's sextiling Saturn, so it's bringing an energy of solidity to that new awareness that came online during the Mercury retrograde. It is opposite Vesta. Vesta is all about dedication and service. Sitting here in Taurus, Taurus being one of the first 4 signs of the zodiac, those first 4 signs are all about our relationship to ourselves. Taurus here in particular, our relationship to our physical body. Mercury, Saturn, and Vesta all together having a conversation are speaking specifically to letting us know places where, if we have been doing things that have been a compromise, A, to our body, B, to the structure of our lives, in particular our health, but also our our homes as well. This energy is going to show us, you can't keep doing this anymore. Especially with Saturn and Capricorn in the mix, it's also going to show us where we have compromised ourselves in terms of our finances, and that's done, where we can't keep doing that anymore as well. Neptune is also a piece of this conversation because Neptune is sitting in trine to Mercury. And so there's an interesting thing here. Anytime Neptune lends his energy to the mix with Mercury, whether it is a square, an opposition, a trine, a conjunction, you get some choices with Neptune. And because Neptune really represents the realm of the unseen, it's the world of the collective subconscious, of illusion, of that which we can't place our fingers on, of the ocean, of the sea, that which we cannot grasp with our hands. So Neptune in the mix, talking to Mercury, which is mind. On the one hand, we can walk the spiritual route here. We can take a look from a spiritual lens at that which needs to change in our physical world so that we can upgrade our lives in 2020. But Neptune in the mix as well can, especially in a water sign, Pisces and Scorpio, they're flowing harmoniously, which means we do have more support for bringing the better aspects of Neptune and Mercury together into the mix. But to be really blunt, these actually can lend to us an energy of being just willing to lie to ourselves even more, and you can see this again playing out on the world stage. There are plenty of places on the world stage where we are witnessing either the dissolution of facts, disinformation. We are witnessing strong emotional reactions to information that may or may not actually be true. So this is a moment in time where, yes, the truth is out there, and for many of us, it's smacking us in the face. And there's also an invitation to just continue to put our heads in the sand around the truth that is slapping us in the face. Now, I'm sure as you're listening to this, in whichever area of the world you're in, you can probably think of a couple of either political or global issues that you can see how this is playing out. So again, this new moon is the moment to take that stand with your actions. Sign up for that group. Do that protest or demonstration. Support this or that politician that you believe has the right way with your actions. it's not just about conversation. It's really about taking steps with our bodies and with our time. All right. So that's that message right there. That's part of this new moon energy. This new moon is really showing us, hey, choice point, what are you going to do with the truth, right? So Venus trine Uranus is also a part of this new moon. I think I spoke about that already. And Jupiter coming into a trine with Uranus. Let's see, so here's Jupiter at 28 degrees Sagittarius, moving almost into Capricorn. It's going to perfect in the next few weeks. This trine with Uranus, which is in Taurus, again, this is more of that abundance and luck and fortuitous energy, more opportunity energy to have things in the physical world go our way with co-creative support from the other side, from the divine within ourselves and from the divine outside of ourselves that we pray to in the heavens. So what I love about that energy is that this is, again, in the world of business, or for you, it could be home and family and money, because we're talking about, Taurus in the mundane world is about money, Capricorn about business. Taurus can also be about love and sensuality. Capricorn about the institution of marriage and coming together in formal partnerships. This is like a surprise coming together, or a surprise opportunity that just has something you've been really wanting to have solidify in the physical world very suddenly. So the trick with this, though, is that Eris is still a little bit part of the mix. That perfecting square from Jupiter to Eris, or trine, I should say, that's behind us. We had some of that tension a couple of weeks ago, where people were just a little bit on edge in the energy. Now we've got Jupiter speaking to Uranus. Venus is part of that mix. We've got a square to Chiron here at the first degree of Aries. A Chiron square with Jupiter and Venus, there's this energy of, Chiron kind of reins it in for us so we don't get too carried away with ourselves with all this possibility, luck, and opportunity. There's an energy here of really being able to remain mindful, to remain sovereign, to remain self-contained in ways that support, okay, I know I really want to do this thing, but I'm not willing to undermine myself. Like, I'd love to make this investment over here, but I'm not willing to touch the principal on an investment I've previously made. So there's this kind of supportive energy from Chiron, even though this is a square with Jupiter and Venus. We really are getting some of the best aspects of Chiron to come forward with this square, where there may also, there will be an opportunity here. That opportunity won't come without just a little bit of sacrifice on our part, just a little bit of needing to let certain things go, so that we can have the big something that we keep saying someday to. Let those smaller things go now so we can have those things start to become manifest in 2020. So these are the big energies walking with us in this Sagittarius new moon. And as I said, this Sag new moon is real significant for what's coming in 2020 and 2021, because what we're about to see happen is an overlap in eclipse cycles. Now, some of you remember I talked about the Cancer Capricorn eclipse cycle. Now, we have one final eclipse coming up on December 25th. That's about a month away. And that eclipse, I believe it's a solar eclipse, is going to bring an energy of new beginning that is also tied to this new moon. on that Cancer Capricorn axis, which is all about family and institutions, family and work. Now, if you want to have a look at how that eclipse cycle and the new eclipse cycle, Sag Gemini coming in 2020, play out in your chart, email me at chrysalismoon@gmail.com. Because if you've been waiting on a change or waiting on a breakthrough, um, but things just seem to be a little stuck or not moving or foggy, there may be some significant placements in your chart that these eclipse cycles are going to touch, and what you're looking for is the universe to kind of move with these eclipse cycles and position your outer world for readiness so that you can take your next step. And the chart will really show some of that. And so this Sag Gemini eclipse cycle, I'm actually really excited about it because I really believe we'll be seeing a lot of this new moon energy start to play out as people have voted with their choices for their truth in the world. And we'll really get to see how that energy becomes manifest through the lens of unity consciousness as we move forward into 2020. So thank you for watching. I'd love to hear how this energy impacts you in the comments. I do read the comments, so thank you for leaving them. I don't get the opportunity to respond to every single one, but I deeply appreciate when you share your experiences of the energy because it is always supportive to other people who read the comments and to me as well. Once again, I'd be happy to read for you in the month of December. Just shoot me an email. You'll get an autoresponder that clarifies how to set up a time. Check your spam if you don't see it right away. I look forward to reading for you. Take great care. Bye for now.